Number 8. Owl with a vendetta. On October 22, 2022, a 50-year-old woman was hiking through the woods in Hansfield, Washington, when she was suddenly attacked by an owl. Kristen Matheson, a resident of northern Kitsap County, reported getting struck in the back of her head. The owl's razor-sharp talons and hooked beak left deep lacerations around her scalp, which had to be immediately disinfected. Matheson described it as being punched in the back of the head by someone wearing rings on all of their fingers. When she returned home, her boyfriend was shocked to see her state. A doctor advised her to get a tetanus shot due to the high likelihood that the owl's claws contained dangerous bacteria. Surprisingly, the owl was known to Matheson, as she had seen it regularly during her frequent walks through the woods around her home. She had even taken pictures of it, but she had never expected it to attack her so suddenly. Matheson, now aware that there was a potential threat in the woods that could strike at any moment, decided to take a break from her walks. She also took precautions such as wearing a hat. Unfortunately for her, those extra precautions did not work, as she faced yet another attack by the same owl exactly a week after the first encounter. This one was even worse, leaving 6 more cuts across her scalp and even slashing her across her ear. The owl was literally out to get her. Pictures taken by Matheson revealed it was a barred owl, which are notoriously territorial creatures. A representative of the British Trust for Ornithology has said that Matheson may have inadvertently wandered too close to the owl's nest, prompting the creature to attack her to protect her young. The second attack may have been an attempt to keep Matheson further away from the nest, possibly explaining why it was more severe. The owl attacking once again so close to her home was a shock to Matheson, and she has claimed that these freak encounters might have given her a lifelong fear of birds. Number 7. Pink dolphin attack. On February 28, 2023, 28-year-old Claire Bai was viciously attacked by a pink dolphin in Bolivia. During a 7-month-long trip across South America, Claire and her friends decided to head to Santa Rosa de Yacuma to explore the river. When she entered the water to pick up a bottle she had dropped, she spotted a pink dolphin and immediately knew she was in danger. Unlike the adorable dolphins we all know, pink dolphins are a much more dangerous breed. While they don't normally attack humans, Claire seemed to fall victim to a particularly aggressive dolphin in the water. When it attacked, its razor-sharp teeth sank straight through her skin and flesh, biting all the way down to the bone and even slashing through her tendons. According to Claire, she had never felt pain this excruciating before, and the bite lasted a full 20 seconds before the attack was over. According to her, it felt at least like 15 minutes of torment, during which she could not stop screaming. When she was brought back from the water, Claire had little more than a flap of skin exposing her bone to the open air. She went to a hospital nearby where she was given 32 stitches. Unfortunately, the attack was too brutal to heal quickly enough, and Claire developed an infection. She had to be transported to the Bolivian capital of La Paz for treatment. But the treatment at the hospital was still not enough to help her fully recover, and she did not receive proper medical intervention until she returned to Bristol 2 weeks later. After fighting the infection and getting surgery on her foot, Claire had to endure a 2-week-long recovery period. Apart from the physical damage, she spoke about the intense mental damage it caused, forcing her to take psychological therapy to recover from PTSD. Her trip to South America ended up leaving her with lasting trauma, and she says she will never swim near dolphins again. Number 6. Hippo swallows a child. In December 2022, 2-year-old Paul Iga was nearly swallowed whole by a rampaging hippo near Lake Edward in Uganda. Hippos are notoriously aggressive, killing upwards of 500 people per year across Africa. The child was at a relatively safe distance, staying several hundred yards from the edge of the lake, but that was not enough to stop the brutal encounter. All of a sudden, the hippo charged towards Paul, and within seconds, nearly half the child's body had already disappeared into its mouth. Despite their massive size, hippos can move surprisingly fast, so no one had any time to react before the child was nearly swallowed whole. Luckily, a local resident named Crispas Bagonza saw the terrifying event play out, and he immediately began pelting the hippo with stones. The attempt proved successful, and the hippo vomited the child back out before retreating back into the lake. Though the child survived, the hippo's 20-inch-long razor-sharp teeth left lacerations across his head and the side of his face. The 2,000 pounds of force from the hippo's jaws nearly crushed the boy to death. He was also exposed to the animal's digestive juices. Paul was later taken to a nearby hospital where he received treatment for his life-threatening wounds, along with a rabies vaccine. Hippos are known to be territorial, but authorities said that this was the first time that one of them ventured so far from their natural habitat to attack a human. What would you do if you saw a small child being dragged away by an animal? Tell us in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. Number 5. An unusual team. On July 25th, 2023, 64-year-old Peggy Jones was mowing her lawn when both a snake and a hawk savagely attacked her arm. She was trimming the grass when a hawk appeared in the sky, holding a snake in its talons. The hawk dropped its prey onto Jones, and the serpent wrapped itself around her arm. The bird then swooped down to reclaim its prey, savaging Jones's arm in the process. As the snake gripped her arm tightly and cut off her blood supply, the hawk slashed at Jones's right arm 4 times before finally pulling its prey away. This left her with deep scratches across her arm, and the bruising from the snake's grip made the pain even more excruciating. The brutal encounter was a complete surprise to the Texan woman, and she had to head to the emergency room to get immediate care. The attack was so severe that Jones can no longer use her right arm properly, and she has found herself unable to talk about it without bursting into tears. Though the snake apparently did not bite her, it's hard to tell due to the lacerations left by the hawk's talons. Jones relies on artificial knees to get around, so not only did the snake leave her further impaired, but the venom from a potential snake bite might travel to her artificial knees at some point in the future. The physical pain from the incident has faded, but Jones is now completely reliant on her family to perform basic tasks, and she still frequently experiences nightmares about the attack. Number 4. Attack of the Lemon Shark. On January 22nd, 2022, 35-year-old Heather West was enjoying the pristine waters of Key West when she was attacked by a massive 6-foot-long lemon shark. The Texan woman, who headed to Dry Tortugas National Park with a group of friends, had decided to stay in the water a bit longer after the rest of the group headed to shore. She stayed close to the beach, but not close enough. Suddenly, she felt an enormous pull on her leg that threatened to pull her foot right off. In a state of disorientation, West initially had no idea that a shark had grabbed onto her. However, when she felt the enormous sea creature pull her under, she realized she had to act quickly. Despite frantically kicking the shark's face with her leg, the flippers she was wearing restricted her movement and prevented her from hitting it with enough strength. Soon, blood began to fill the water, sending the shark into a frenzy. She then decided to punch the shark as hard as she could, and when it finally let go, she felt as though her foot had been detached from her body. The crimson-red water made it impossible for her to tell for sure. All she could do was call out to her friends for help. When her friends finally managed to bring her back to shore, they saw that her foot was still attached, although just by a thread. Her friends applied pressure to stem the bleeding, and Heather was transported by plane to Stock Island, where she received 18 stitches to hold her foot together. The freak accident is just one of 10 attacks made by the lemon shark in the Key West area. Luckily, Heather's quick thinking saved her from being permanently maimed, though the scar will serve as a permanent reminder of the gruesome attack. Number 3. Provoked elephant tramples a man to death in India. On July 25th, 2021, 45-year-old Pachkal Mura was crushed to death by a stampeding elephant. Mura was part of a group of tea harvesters who were watching a herd of elephant pass by one evening. The location of the incident, the Indian state of Assam, has the second highest elephant population in the country. Passing herds are a common occurrence, but in this instance, one of the elephants was provoked by a member of the crowd and a frustrated driver honking at the herd. A man wearing a purple shirt reportedly flicked a yellow cloth at the elephant, and that made the animal lose control. It exited the herd and ran towards Mura, who was unable to get away. He was crushed beneath its massive limbs. With thousands of pounds of force crushing him into the ground, Mura had no hope for survival, and he was pronounced dead not long after being taken to the hospital. This was the second elephant-related mauling Assam had seen in recent days, with a 71-year-old man also getting crushed just a week prior. Not long before that, a 14-year-old girl had been killed by an elephant in the same area as well. Assam has seen an average of 80 annual deaths caused by elephants in the past decade, and much like in the case of Mura, it's unusual just because the victims were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Do you think Indian forest workers were at fault? Let us know in the comments and hit subscribe while you're at it. Number 2. A tiger attack kills a man and his grandson. On February 12, 2023, 18-year-old Chethan was mauled and killed by a tiger in Karnataka, India. The attack occurred at around 6 in the evening, when the young member of the Jenu Kuruba tribe went to work harvesting coffee at a nearby plantation. He was just 5 hours away from the home he shared with his grandfather, when the swift attack by the vicious beast left him dead within minutes. His grandfather Raju was reportedly very close to the boy, and he attended his funeral shortly after. However, just 12 hours after the tiger took the life of his grandson, Raju himself fell prey to the same beast. At approximately 6:30 in the morning on February 13th, Raju went for a walk near the Nagara Hole Tiger Reserve. This is where he encountered the tiger, and the attack was so gruesome that Raju's remains could hardly be recognized. According to various reports, Raju was between 70 and 75 years old at the time of his demise. Not only did the tiger claim the lives of 2 tribesmen, but it also led to a third relative, 56-year-old Jayama, dying of shock after hearing about it. The close proximity of the attacks, coupled with their grisly nature, led authorities to conclude that they were caused by the same animal. A team of 150 field workers and 5 elephants was dispatched to locate the tiger, as well as 25 cameras were set up to trace the culprit. After many hours of searching, the tiger was eventually located near the Nanachi Gate in the Nagara Hole Tiger Reserve. Authorities subdued the tiger and took it back into captivity, although the lack of action by forest workers after the first attack was heavily criticized by officials. The deaths have left a lasting impact on the community, with many locals now fearing that such attacks are on the rise. Number 1. A grisly hiking encounter leaves a woman dead. On July 22, 2023, 47-year-old Amy Adamson's body was found on the Buttermilk Trail near Yellowstone National Park after being mauled by a grizzly bear. Adamson left her career as a teacher in 2015 to pursue her passion, backpacking across the US and writing down her experiences in a successful book. The hike was a regular part of her morning routine, but while she was traveling along the path west of Yellowstone National Park, she came face to face with a grizzly bear. The Buttermilk Trail runs through the Custer Gallatin National Forest, which is where authorities found her remains. Though the animal was never located, officials were able to confirm it was a bear attack due to the unique tracks it left behind. This prompted an emergency shutdown within an 8-mile radius of the Buttermilk Trail. The bear likely used its powerful jaws to attack Adamson's neck, tearing out her throat and leaving her dead in minutes. Bears tend to go for the neck and head region for a quick kill, and it's possible that Adamson did not even know what was happening before it was over. A single bite of its fangs would have ruptured both her jugular and carotid arteries, so if the bear did not attack her any further, she would have taken minutes to bleed out from her wounds. According to her parents, Adamson died doing what she loved. However, the rapid rise in bear populations in the Custer Gallatin National Forest region has resulted in a serious increase in attacks, and Adamson might have not been prepared for the new dangers. Which of these was the most shocking animal attack for you? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Bad Badger.